I run a YouTube channel called Jake Angel Beats where I make music. I'm in front of a keyboard right now.
Oh.
So yeah, I make beats for rappers and singers.
So this is Jake Angel. He's probably my closest friend, and we also do a lot of business chats together and strategizing. And I've just got him on a call so that you guys can find out about his own business ventures, which are going extremely well. So, Jake, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
So yeah, I make beats for rappers and singers, and I sell those beats online. It's just instrumentals, and then I've got a YouTube channel where I post all the beats there. I sell them to people as leases, so they can essentially use that beat to make profit from the song that they make up to a certain number of streams. So let's say they buy a lease for $15. That allows them to make a song and make profit from that song up to 100,000 streams, and then they have to buy the next lease.
Mm-hmm. So you never give away the right to it?
Unless I sell it exclusive, which I have done before. But then I own, I get 50-50 publishing as well. And
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the exclusives are much more expensive as well. You know, they're more like $500. Well, yeah, more like $500 up.
So like if a rapper just randomly found one of your beats and then they wanted to make a song on top of that, how much would they have to pay just to get like the lowest license?
That's $15. It's nothing.
So $15. I bet you're actually you're raking those in now. It's got to that point. So when did you start?
It was 26th of May in 2020 that I started. I posted my first beat then, and I did one a day for the first month, and I didn't make any money, and my YouTube channel was not doing brilliantly. So yeah, I posted something like 25 beats without making any money, and then made my first $15 sale on the 22nd of June, and then yeah, it's just been increasing every month. So
exponentially, right?
Pretty much, yeah. In terms of sales and views on YouTube and plays on BeatStars and subs on YouTube and followers on BeatStars. To the point now where I think I'm averaging more than 2 sales a day. So this month I think I've had upwards of 50 sales, individual sales.
So what's the daily average for this month then?
Well, let me just tell you how much I've made this month, and then okay, so I've made $2,000 this month.
Divided by 29 is almost $70 a day. $69 a day. Passive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
and that's...
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and that's since how many months is that? 9 months? 7 months.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it was like nothing to start with, pretty much nothing in the first month. But you've done almost 100 beats now, is that right?
Yeah, close to that. It's in the 90s.
Uploaded. So that's about one every 2 days, one every 3 days maybe, or somewhere between.
Yeah.
So that's the consistency.
Yeah, it's the consistency, and I did notice I had a couple of periods, literally just 2 periods in that time where I didn't post any beats for about 2 or 3 weeks. So that was at Christmas time, and then it was in July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see I can see my YouTube stats. The graph has just went down in that time. So it definitely affects it. If you just stop posting, you have to be consistent with it. The actual sales process is pretty passive. I have to deal with quite a lot of DMs on Instagram of people asking me, how do I buy this beat, or I want to buy this beat exclusive, and then a lot of them waste my time, like someone just did today.
Yeah, a lot of people asking for them for free as well, don't you? And then they're like, come on, help a guy out.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so he wanted to buy 4 exclusive beats, and that would, and they were popular beats as well, so they were making quite a lot of lease sales. So with exclusives, they can vary in price, because if I've got a beat that is not selling at all, then I might let that go for the minimum $500 exclusive, so it gets taken down from my store and no one else can buy it. But if a beat is getting a lot of lease sales, like there's a beat on my page called Hope, and it's made over $500 just in leases. Like I'm not
and
gonna.
And then there's more to come as well, and the YouTube ads, which will eventually kick in.
Exactly. I'm not going to sell that one exclusive for $500 because I just have to wait another few months and then I will have made $500 from it and still get to keep the beat. So anyway, he wanted to get them all for free, and he was saying, let's just do a royalty split, 50-50 royalty split.
Why on earth would you do that?
I know, it's stupid. Obviously, if he's like a massive
If
name,
he was massive, yeah.
then I'd consider it. But even then, if he was a massive name, he could afford it.
Yeah.
He could afford the $1,000 a beat or whatever. It just devalues what you're doing. Like that, he clearly just had no idea about the time and effort that I put into making those beats. Like I made them all from scratch, and it's multiple days of just listening to them over and over again in the shower just to make sure that they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual beats themselves don't take that long to make, but it's just the little tweaks.
Yeah, you always tell me almost on a daily basis, I've just made a new beat, and then you play it to me and it's amazing. You're like, that took 10 minutes, 15 tops, but then there's days after that I don't see, I guess.
Yeah, and there's little tweaks.
It.
Like the beat that I posted yesterday, which is one of my favourites. I'd actually done the bulk of the beat in about 15 or 20 minutes, but then I listened to it for a few days, figured out that I needed to add one more thing, and I listened to it a few more days, and then added one more thing, and then I had to do all the admin. So the admin is just exporting the beat as the separate files, and then finding a good picture for it, and then uploading everything, doing the YouTube tag. So that takes about an hour and a half. But once all of that's done and the beat is up, you don't have to touch it again. It's all automatic after that. So people just go on my website, they can buy it using PayPal, and it's just instant download. They can just download the beats as soon as they pay for it, and then the money goes straight into my account.
Have you ever thought about running paid ads targeting rappers who like fit the demographic of the type of people who would buy your beats?
I think the key is just to do just consistency. It might take a bit longer, but like for example on Instagram, you see, like we were talking about this the other day, you see loads and loads of sort of individual small music artists.
God, yeah. Still do
promoting posts, and I'm like, why are you promoting this post? What even is it? They essentially just want followers, but it's irrelevant because people who follow you from promotions most likely are not going to engage with your stuff very much, because but whereas with my Instagram page, I was telling you about this, that's grown completely organically. It's only on about 350 at the moment, but every single one of those people knows my stuff, likes my stuff, comments on it regularly. They buy stuff from me. I talk to a lot of them on DMs regularly as well. Like if they're posting their music, then I'm saying, oh, this is really great.
There's that theory, or I don't know if it's a theory or not, but called 1,000 true fans, where it's supposed to be if you have 1,000 people who really love your stuff, you can make a good like 6-figure income from it, just because each one of those has to give you 100 quid per year for something. It could be spread across different purchases, and that's kind of what you've got going. But only at 300, you're already getting a good living.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to average about, I think sort of pushing it a little bit, but it might be realistic, is 30 grand from beat sales this year. Like I made more than 3,000 last month. So it fluctuates a bit, but then then I'm expecting to hit monetization pretty soon. I'll get a tiny bit of YouTube money from that, hopefully.
What's your channel on now with the hours and the subs?
Subs are on 709.
709. And you need 1,000, don't you? And you need 4,000 watch hours. So what watch hours are you on?
Do you want me to check now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on 712 subs. So I've got 3 subs while we've just been talking.
Wow.
Don't know how that's happened. That's weird.
I've had 12 new subs in the last 28 days.
2,400 watch hours.
Oh, let's talk about the deal, the record deal.
Yeah, so someone reached out to me on IG, which is where most people find me at Jake Angel Beats. Why are you laughing?
What, IG? Who says IG? Okay.
Anyway, yeah, someone reached out to me saying, "Are you signed?" And I get a lot of messages on Instagram from people. A lot of it is spam, but then I usually just check their page just to see who they are. And this guy was, he's quite a big deal. He's got a lot of followers on Instagram.
How many followers thereabouts? Like 80,000?
I think it's about 80,000, yeah. And yeah, he said we talked for a bit, and he said he found my beats through a song I made with someone, and then he wanted to sign me, and then we've basically just been figuring out the contract. And I actually
said that so casually, and yeah, he wanted to sign me. He wanted a big deal record label guy with Lambos and mansions and big name rappers wants to sign you.
Okay, yeah, all right. I am gassed about it, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to call in front of your audience.
Just being humble.
But yeah, so we've just been figuring out the contract to make it fit so I can still do my lease sales, because I've sort of just hit the point where it's getting good now. I wouldn't want to throw that away.
Yeah.
And I just got it back from them yesterday. The new contract with the updated stuff, and it looks really good, so I'm gonna sign it. So it's not guaranteed money, but it's like they're basically gonna and my lawyer said, because I got a lawyer to look over the contract, which I recommend that everyone does, and he said that he already knows about this company. He says they're a really great company. But basically they're going to promote my beats to big name rappers that they have in studio sessions, and then try and get placements with those rappers, which basically means getting the rapper to use the beat to make a song and release the song. And we're talking superstar level rappers here.
Next time we get you on in like 6 or 12 months, you're going to have a massive song just come out.
Well, that's the dream, isn't it? That's like that's why you do it. It's because it's that idea of you go into the gym in an Uber and the radio's on. You're like, oh, I made that.
How can someone else who's like interested in music production and not specifically beats, but just making music and making money from it, what do they need to do? Give me the brief step by step.
Brief step by step. Download.
Skipping the 20 years of learning music.
yeah. You need to know music. All right. A lot of producers getting started don't know any music theory, and they're just using loops or samples they find, and that's not sustainable. Because
so we're talking how to play an instrument quite well, and also a bit of music theory. Like Jake's mum taught me piano, and also him a bit.
Yeah. And music theory is the main thing, because I create all my beats on a program called FL Studio. So you want to get FL Studio or Ableton or Logic, any of those. And then once you know a bit of how to construct melodies, then you just make loads of beats. The things that stop people, there's this thing called beat block, which I've heard people say.
Yeah.
It's like writer's block. I have never experienced that in my life. Right. And I think it's because I know music theory a lot. I listen to Avicii, and whenever, I'm sure I've told, in fact, for some reason I have a vivid memory of me and you ages and ages ago at a bowling alley. Right, we've probably only ever been bowling once together.
Like a kids party, like ages 7.
Yeah. And then a song came on, and we were talking about how we never actually just listen to a song anymore and enjoy it. We're like deconstructing it.
Yeah.
And that's what you should do. And it's got to the point now where I can hear anything and know what the chord sequence is, know what the melody is, and I picture the sort of the notes on FL Studio in the piano roll. I'm sure you can find a picture of the piano roll to put up on screen.
Yeah, I'll throw it up. Yeah.
I just pictured that sort of shape of the notes when I hear a melody. If you want to get rid of beat block, like just know music theory, because a lot of people just use samples, and when you run out of samples, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of the actual production quality, I took a few months before I actually started posting beats. Again, it's sort of going back to what we said earlier about being brutally honest to yourself. And a lot of producers, they make beats think it's great because everything you make you think is great when you're first starting out.
Yeah, well, it goes with anything. People, it might be the other direction where you think that everything you do is bad, but usually you think that things that you've made are better than they actually are.
Yeah. So what I did was, I made a beat, and then I went on YouTube and found beats that have millions of views. I played my beat, then I played theirs, then I played my beat again, and my beat sounded so then I was sort of listening to the volumes of the claps and the hi-hats and the kick drums and all the instruments sort of over time, just doing the same thing over and over again, made a new beat, tried to recreate beats that I found as well, finding the right sounds and then getting the volumes right, and then I just remembered what the volumes are for things, and it's sort of like a formula in terms of the mixing. But you just have to be comfortable with constructive criticism and doing it to yourself.
Let's move on to just more about you personally.
Oh dear, not much to talk about here.